say wonder kid tier list or younger players. I wouldn't say wonder kid because I've gone for 23 and under because that's usually the age where people for Young Player of the Year awards, that's the cut-off point really. So I've gone for that. Now I've picked out the best in terms of players who, some of them are like world renowned players already and some of them are a bit younger, but these are guys who have a lot of potential and have shown a lot of quality, but I'm be ranking them today. Of course, anybody on this list is good and has potential, so don't be annoyed if I put them low. Just to get on this tier list is an achievement in itself. And there are loads and loads of other players I could have gone for, but you know, I could only fit so many players on the tier list, so I had to go for this. But these are the tiers, so world class, these are for players who are already right now world class players, because a lot of them actually already are, which is crazy. Very good players, so maybe not world class, but they are very, very good. Future world class, so these are players who maybe aren't at that elite level yet, but I believe they will be a future world class footballer in a few years' time. Solid players, so these are players who maybe I have doubts about them being world class in the future, but right now they're solid, they're progressing well, and they look like really good players. And then we have unconvinced, so these are for the players who I think I'm a little bit unsure about in terms of, are they going to reach their potential? Will they become world class? Maybe they've only had like half a season or something. I need to see a little bit more from these guys. So these are the tiers for this tier list. Hope you guys enjoy, and now let's begin. So here we go. We have Bukayo Saka kicking us off. I should also clarify, this is, of course, their ages are, as of recording, they were 23, these guys, and under. So Bukayo Saka kicks us off, and we're kicking off with a world class straight away. For me, Bukayo Saka is in the world class category. Now I do have doubts about him. I do think he's sometimes slightly overrated by especially Arsenal fans, in terms of he is really, really good, but I wouldn't say Saka is like necessarily one of the best players in the world. However, I would say he's world class simply because I don't think there's that many right wingers in the world who are incredible. But I do think Saka is one of the better ones in that position. I should also clarify, when I say world class and put someone in there, I'm usually saying they are about top 5 in their position, and I do believe Saka right now is top 5 in his position. I do want to see a bit more consistency from him, and turn up in those big moments, those big games, because for example last year he was good, but then towards the back end of the season in that title race he did fall off a little bit. This season he's not started off the best, but having said that, he's a great talent, and I think he is currently still world class. Lamine Yamal, I think, is actually the youngest player on this tier list, and for me he's a future world class player. I think Yamal is going to be a world class talent. He's definitely not world class yet. He has had only a couple games really, but at his age, was he 16 to be playing? He's almost a regular now for Barcelona. That is insane. And you look at the way he plays as well, he is so talented, and I think he will become a world-class talent in the future. Of course, I do still need to see a lot more from him in terms of how he develops and a consistent season, but given the talent he's shown and the maturity at such a young age to play for a club like Barcelona, I do believe that he is going to be a future world-class player, Lamine Yamal. Very excited about him. Gonzalo Ramos for PSG. Now he is a bit of a difficult one because he was sensational for Benfica last season. He was sensational at the World Cup as well for Portugal. But then he joined solid. I think right now Ramos is a solid striker in terms of when he does play, he's decent. He'll get you goals. I am a little unconvinced on where his future is in terms of how high he can go. I think he made a bit of a poor move to go to PSG, but right now I would say he's a solid striker, and he's definitely one of those who could move up and down this tier list easily, because right now he isn't playing too much, so I would say he's a solid striker. Alright, João Neves for Benfica. For me, I'm unconvinced as of yet. Now this is for multiple reasons. One, I haven't watched too much of Neves. I'm not going to say I sit and watch the Portuguese League every single day. I have seen him in the Champions League a couple of times and he looks really, really good. He's a centre mid, very, very young, looks very composed on the ball. And a lot of people are talking about him. There's been heavy links to some of the big clubs, but the only reason I'm going to put him in unconvinced is because I want to see him in a better league, if you like, and see how he does, because we've seen a lot of players in recent years come from Benfica, do really, really well and struggle outside. Names like João Felix, Enzo Fernandez, for example, Darwin Núñez left Benfica for heavy fees and, didn't necessarily hit the ground running in other leagues. So I'm a bit unconvinced as of yet on what João Neves' ceiling is, but he looks like a good talent. Arda Güler for Real Madrid, I'm going to have to put in unconvinced as well. This is simply because he, kind of similar to João Neves, but he has been injured since he's joined Real Madrid. He's only just come back from injury, so I just want to see how he does at Real Madrid. I think he has lots of talent, lots of potential. He is seen as like the gem of Turkish football. He was sensational over in Turkey. Was it for Fenerbahce? I think. Yeah, it was sensational. But of course he got injured when he joined Real Madrid this summer, so that has stunted his development. So I'm just unconvinced right now. I just want to see how he does at Real Madrid, and once I get to see him fully at Real Madrid for in a full season ready for Real Madrid, then I can assess really where his future in the world game will be. Cole Palmer for Chelsea. This one's tough. I'm going to try and not be biased as a Chelsea fan here, but I think Cole Palmer is solid. Right now. I think in terms of this season, he's been very good. He's been very, very good this season for Chelsea. One of our only good players. But I'm going to put him in solid just because this is really his first season as a consistent starter in the Premier League. So I don't want to put him in very good for now, just because I want to see if he can maintain this over the course of a full season and beyond that. But he looks like a really, really good talent. He's settled in really, really nice, so mature. And as I said, in a struggling Chelsea side, he's been one of our only good players. So credit to him. And he is definitely a solid player right now. If he can continue this form, then I will move him into very good. Alejandro Balde for Barcelona. Just like his Barcelona compatriot, I'm going to say Balde for me is a future world-class player. I think Balde is a really, really good left-back. He has shown real good signs of being a good left-back. Developed really nicely. He's a starter, a regular at Barcelona. Has been a regular for a season and a bit now, so he is developing nicely. Now, I do think he's not the finished article yet, hence why I'm going to put him in future world class. But I think in terms of left backs in the world, there's not that many good left backs in the world right now, which is why I think he'll become a future world class left back. I think give it another season or two, and I think people will probably start to put him in that world class bracket. But I think right now he's probably not just in there yet. Speaking of left backs, Alphonso Davies. Speaking of world class left backs, he is world class. Again, Davies hasn't had the best of times in the last few months. many good left backs out there in the world right now, and Davies is one of the better ones, especially on his day. On his day, he can be electric from left back. But I do want to see him improve in terms of, I think his career has stagnated a little bit in the last 12 to 18 months. It'll be interesting if he leaves Bayern. There has been talks about that as his contract is running out. But for now, he is still a world-class left-back. Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is an interesting one. I think Florian Wirtz is definitely going to be world-class. And I actually think he is so close right now to being world-class. But I'm just going to put him very good simply because he has some, because of the injury. He got injured, I think, last season. I was out for like a whole year, and this is like the first season he's been back since that injury, and he's been absolutely superb. I do want to see how he does for the whole season before I can say, he's world class. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but if he can lead Leverkusen to the league title, I might have to put him in that world class bracket. But I do think he is very good. He is fantastic, and I think he's almost certain for a big move very soon. Jamal Musiala, another Bundesliga attacking mid. Now, Musiala, on the other hand, I think is world class simply because compared to Wirtz, Musiala has a bit more of a sample size than Wirtz. Musiala has played multiple seasons now as a starter for Bayern and has produced in those big moments and won Bayern league titles. Literally look at last season. The man who won from the league on the last day is Musiala. I'm not sure many players on this tier list can say that they have won their team a league title. So yeah, Musiala for me is world class. He is absolutely superb. Maybe this season he's not been incredible, but he is still such good talent. Yusuf Makoko, for me, I'm unconvinced on him. A couple years ago, this guy was seen as the next big thing, and would have definitely been in future world class. He was kind of like Yamal in terms of he broke onto the scene when he was like 15, 16. It was crazy. But his game time has really been limited over the last 18 months, and I'm not sure where I stand on him. I still think he's a great talent, but I want to start seeing him now play regular minutes for a full season. He's yet to really do that, be the starting striker for Dortmund, so I'm unconvinced on how good he can be. Karim Adeyemi. Karim Adeyemi for me is solid. He's not at the best of times at Dortmund since joining, but he has shown glimpses of being a really good player. He was good before he joined Dortmund. I think it was from Salzburg, wasn't it? And he has all the raw attributes with his electric pace to be a fantastic player. I think he's a solid player right now, but he has been a little bit inconsistent. Dominic Szoboszlai from Liverpool, for me, is very good. I think Szoboszlai is very good. He has settled into life at Liverpool fairly good. I mean, he started off really well, but then it kind of dipped off a little bit. Had some dodgy performances, but that's to be expected in his first season in the Prem. At Leipzig, he was absolutely terrific, and he looks like a really good player. I would say he's a very good player right now. He's definitely not world class yet. Could he become world class potentially? But I do think he is a really good player, and I've been impressed with him so far this season at Liverpool. Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea. This one's really interesting, because Enzo for me has world class ability. He's definitely not world class yet. He has shown his world class ability at moments for Chelsea, but Chelsea have been really bad this season. Enzo has not been good, but he's been played out of position a lot. So I really don't know where to put him. I'm going to put him in unconvinced. I'm really unsure on Enzo. As I said, we've seen his world-class abilities. We've seen him at the World Cup light it up for Argentina. We've seen him do well for Chelsea even when they're doing bad. But I don't know, this season he's not been good. He's been played in multiple positions. I'm not entirely sure what his role is in this Chelsea side and in general, so I'm unconvinced on Enzo right now. I need to see more from him before I decide what kind of player he really is. Haaland, on the other hand, I am unconvinced. Okay, no, I'm joking. Obviously, Haaland is world class. Potentially, you could say the best player on this list. Evan Ferguson, interesting. For me, I'm actually going to say Evan Ferguson is a future world class striker. Might be a bit of a bold claim, but from what I've seen in terms of his raw attributes, he has everything. He has the physical ability. He's strong. He is absolutely clinical. He has great movement, good in the air, good link-up play. He's fast. He has all the things you'd need for a striker. Of course, he is young and is still developing, and I want to see him lead the line for a full season. However, from what I've seen so far, I think he has all the abilities to be a future world-class striker. And I hope I'm right about this, but I think he will be. Gabriel Martinelli for Arsenal. Interesting. I'm going to go very good. I think Martinelli is very good. For me, he's not world class like Saka. One, because there's so many good left wingers out there right now. But two, because I think he's been a bit more inconsistent than Saka. Saka has proven himself over a longer period of time. Especially this season, Martinelli has been really, really poor. He has not done well. But again, we've seen those glimpses. Like I said about Ferguson, Martinelli possesses those incredible raw attributes to be a world-class player. His pace is electric, his dribbling is great, he has good finishing. It's just, he lacks that consistency to be considered a world-class player, but he is still very, very good player right now. Malo Gusto for Chelsea. For me, might be bold, but I think Gusto is going to be a future world-class player. If he stays fit, I think he's going to be a future world-class right back. For me, from what I've seen from Gusto this season, he has been absolutely incredible. He has the ability to play right back and left back, which shows the extreme intelligence you need to be in that position. He is fantastic. He can invert, he can overlap, he's really good going forward, he's good defensively. The only thing is really, he's picked up a couple injuries already, which could be a bit of a problem in his career. He's had a couple rash moments here and there. He's not the finished article, but I think if he develops the way he is, I think he has the ability to be a future world-class right back. Rasmus Højlund for Man United. I'm going to say I'm unconvinced. I think this is fair considering, he had a decent time at Atalanta. I think we all knew that it was a bit of a too soon step up for him to leave the line for United this season, and we have kind of seen that. However, we have seen those raw abilities look good. Physically, he's a monster, so strong, so fast, so physical, and his finishing when he gets chances has been good. I want to see a little bit more from him. I'm unsure in terms of what his level can be. Is he going to be Man United's future number 9 for years to come? I don't know at this stage, but I think we need to give him some time. Xavi Simons, for me, is a future world-class player. Xavi Simons is absolutely sensational. He was insane for PSV last year, the Eredivisie player of the season. He then went to Leipzig this year and has continued that. He has been fantastic for Leipzig this year. I think if PSG develop him right, next year he's going to be starting for PSG, and he'll be PSG's next superstar in my opinion. He will be, when Mbappe goes, it's going to be Xavi Simons' team in my opinion. That might be a bold statement, but if PSG are smart, they should be doing that. And I think Xavi Simons will become a world-class player when he develops even better and becomes our main guy for PSG. Santiago Jimenez for Feyenoord, the striker. Interesting. I'm going to say unconvinced, simply because of the track record of players coming from the Eredivisie. A lot of them have struggled. Santiago Jimenez has destroyed that league so far. He has been absolutely superb and looks like a really promising striker. He's done decent in the Champions League and Conference League, but seen players in the past not be able to step up from the Eredivisie, so I just want to see how Jimenez does when he does eventually leave Feyenoord and go to a league which is a bit better. I want to see how he does and performs in that league before I assess where his potential lies. Jeremy Doku for City. This one's interesting. Could Doku be world class? Ooh. Maybe. I think I think Doku is future world class. The only reason I say this is because he has managed under Pep Guardiola. Doku has come in and been sensational for Man City. Has been a real breath of fresh air and settled into life really, really well. And I think, give him more time to be coached under Pep, Doku is going to become even better and become a world-class player. And also, kind of just a general thing that, when you're playing for one of the best teams in the world, people do, even if you're not incredible, people do consider you to be, I guess, better than you are, and you tend to get in those world-class brackets because of your reputation. However, I do think Doku is really, really good, really exciting, and if he continues to develop, he will be a future world-class star. Josko Gvardiol, for me, is a future world-class player. Actually, I'm going to put him very good. I don't think it's fair to necessarily say he's future world-class because Gvardiol is actually pretty close to being world-class. So I'll say he's very good for now. He's been a little bit inconsistent for Man City this season, but overall he's been good for them. Similar thing, give him some more time, give him a full season under his belt in the Premier League with Pep Guardiola. I think next season he's going to really explode and potentially become a world-class player, but for now he's just outside that. He's very good. Kavija Kvaratskhelia for me is similar, very good. I don't think he's quite world-class yet, simply because he fell off towards back in the last season, and this season has started off pretty poorly. But Napoli in general have been poor, so I'll cut him some slack. But last year he was absolutely superb. He has fantastic abilities. He's very, very close to being world class. I don't think he's quite there yet. I just want to see another season from him being superb, and then I'll put him in the world class bracket. Endrick has to be unconvinced for me, simply because 1, I don't watch the Brazilian League, 2, it's the Brazilian League, 3, this guy's never played in Europe yet, so let's see how he does at Real Madrid. He has a big reputation ahead of him, he obviously has bags of talent, but let's see how he does in Europe, in Real Madrid, and I think he will become that, but we just don't know yet. He's an unknown quantity. Alright, this is Moises Caicedo. Caicedo, for me, oh god, I don't know. I'm actually going to put in unconvinced. I think he's very similar to Enzo in terms of I've seen a full season of Caicedo being very good for Brighton. However, this year he's not been very good. I am unconvinced on him so far. I think he can develop into a good player, but then again, I'm not entirely sure what his role is, how good he can actually be, and if he will be a world-class player. I'm just unconvinced so far. Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho for me, I think is solid. I think Garnacho's solid. He's a decent Premier League winger right now at this stage. Can he be world-class? In my opinion, no. I don't think his ability is quite at that level. However, is he a solid Premier League winger right now? Yeah. Can he become a very good winger? Yeah. Do I think he'll be world-class? No. Okay, Antonio Silva, centre-back for Benfica. I have to if I put Neves in there because he has played in Leonos, then I have to put Antonio Silva in there. I mean, I think he's actually better in terms of I've seen him in the Champions League for a couple of seasons now, look really, really good. Last year he was incredible. But of course, as I said, it's Benfica, it's Liga NOS. Let's see how he does when he steps up a level, if he can do it. Kubo for Real Sociedad. So I think he's solid. I think Cooper is solid. He has done really, really well for Real Sociedad. A couple years ago, he was seen as a future world-class talent at Real Madrid. It didn't quite work out, but has rebuilt his career over at Real Sociedad and is doing well. He's a solid player for now, but he definitely has potential to be moving up his tier list in the future. Jude Bellingham is of course world class. Same with Vinny Jr. Rodrigo. I'm gonna say Rodrigo is very good. I think Rodrigo is very good. I don't think you can say Rodrigo is quite world class yet. He lacks a little bit of consistency. He has been moved around in terms of positions, right wing striker, so it has not helped him. But as I said, he does lack a bit of consistency. He does turn up in the big moments, which is really impressive. But yeah, he's not quite world class yet, but he's very, very good player. Michael Elise. You know what? I think Michael Elise might be a hot take. I think Michael Elise is a future world class talent. I think his ability is absolutely superb. I've seen moments from him which are absolutely sensational. His creativity is insane. He is superb from set pieces. His left foot is magical. He has fantastic shooting. Dribbling ability is insane. He has just struggled with injuries. I think if he didn't have injuries, he would be getting a bit more hype than he currently has. But I have seen enough from him to suggest that he is going to be a world-class player, in my opinion. Camavinga for me is very good. Similar thing to Rodrigo, just lacks a bit of consistency in terms of he's been moved out of position, in and out of that side, been left back, centre mid. Not always a starter for Real Madrid, so I can't say he's world class, but he is superb, and I think once he becomes a consistent starter week in, week out in centre mid, then I can say he's world class. Pedri. Oh, this one's tough. He's either very good or world class. I think simply because of injuries, I'm going to have to say he's very good. Pedri has suffered a lot with injuries in the last year or so, which means, I haven't seen him for a full season yet be amazing in the last 12 months. So I'm going to have to put him in very good for now, but I think he is very close to being world class, in my opinion. Gavi, I'm going to put him very good as well. Same thing. Gavi has been really, really good. Looks really, really good as well. Started off this season superbly, but then got injured. Big injury as well, ruling him out for a while. So let's see how he does when he comes back from that. But for now, he's just outside world class. Savio for Barcelona. He is having a sensational season. I'm gonna put him in unconvinced simply because this is his first season really exploding onto the scene. All the other players really have had multiple seasons of being good. I'm tempted to put him in future world-class talent, but again, I've only seen him for one season doing this. We'll see how he does. But he is similar to Elise in terms of, from what I've seen, his ability. He has for future world-class ability. I'm not going to put him in there just yet because, as I said, this is his first year in a top 5 league doing well. So we'll see how he does in future seasons, but he looks really, really good. Alright, Warren Zaire-Emery for me is a future world-class talent. I don't think he's quite very good yet, as this is his first real season playing week in, week out for PSG. But he has arguably been behind Mbappe, PSG's best player this season. He has been absolutely superb, broken to France national team. He's only 17-18 as well. Crazy, and I think he's going to be a future world-class player. Phil Foden, very good. Foden is very good. He has really impressed me this season in terms of gone into that number 10 role and really, really looked good. He has been a bit inconsistent over the years in terms of he's never really nailed down a starting spot in the Man City team, but he has shown world-class ability throughout his time there. He is near world-class. I think on his day he's all season, starting week in, week out, putting up great numbers before I put Foden in the world class bracket. Harvey Elliott. I'm actually going to say Harvey Elliott. I'm unconvinced. I'm not sure what Elliott's ceiling is, to be honest. I think Elliott, when he first came into the Liverpool side, looked really, really good. He looked even a potential world-class talent, but he kind of petered out. He has now been in and out of the Liverpool side. This season he's been better. I'm still unsure. Is he a centre mid or a right winger? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm a little bit unconvinced in terms of how good a player Elliott can be, but he is definitely a good talent right now and a good player. Destiny Adoji is a future world-class player for me. What I've seen from him at Spurs has been sensational. He has been incredible under Ange this season. The way he can invert from fullback or overlap has been insane. Going forward, superb. Defensively, a monster as well. He has just been sensational for Spurs at left back, and if he keeps this up, he is going to be a world-class left back in the future. William Saliba is very good for me. You can argue Saliba is world class. You can argue he's world class, and I wouldn't necessarily argue against that too heavily. For me, he's just outside simply because I think there's a lot of good centre backs, and also he had one season last year, and that's it. Whereas other players have had multiple seasons. I've only seen one season, and obviously half of this season. And of course he was injured for half of last season as well, so yeah, there's just a little bit too small of a sample size for me to put him in world class. Whereas like these guys have been doing it for multiple seasons. So Saliba for now is just outside. But for sure, in my opinion, he could be the best centre back in the world at one point. I wouldn't be shocked. Rico Lewis. I'm going to be unconvinced. I'm not sure about Lewis. Similar thing to Harvey Elliott. I'm not entirely sure what his best position is. Is he a fullback or is he a midfielder? He looks really, really good in terms of Pep trusts him to play multiple roles, which highlights how good his ability is. I still need to see again regular minutes for him. It's hard to do it at Man City, but I need to see regular minutes from him. See what position he is before I can assess really where his future is going to be. And finally, Mickey van der Ven for Spurs. I'm actually going to say he's a future world-class player. He has, again, like a doggy, really, really impressed me at Spurs. Looked so good at centre-back. His pace is electric. So good on the ball. And yeah, if things maintain the way they are going, I think he could be a world-class centre-back in the future. Alright, there we go. That is my